You define a woman? Because you've asked other people up here to define how we would define a woman. How would you define a woman, Mr. Walsh?
An adult human female.
And how?
Hello everybody, what's up? Today we are covering a college debate on how would you define a woman. I know what the answer is, but apparently that's a big debate in college universities right now. Why? I don't know.
Don't trans people, how doesn't a transgender woman fit that definition?
Female.
Because they're not female. They have. You said that you are a biological male, correct?
I said I'm transgender. I might be intersex for all we know. About almost as many people in the world are transgender as intersex, and a lot of people don't know.
Well, but that's a different conversation. Intersex, that's a genetic anomaly, that's a medical condition. So that's a completely different conversation. That's also not a third gender. That's a genetic anomaly that occurs within the sex binary of male and female. What you're saying is that a quote-unquote trans woman is a female?
By the definitions I'm familiar with, yes.
So how would you define female?
Through my training in healthcare, there are several different categories for how we define sex. People bring up chromosomes. People also bring up hormone levels. People bring up all sorts.
Okay. Healthcare, this woman is training in healthcare. I mean, the dude, man, whatever, I don't even care anymore. I really don't care. Call yourself whatever you like, but yeah, got news for you, sir. You're not going to last in healthcare. You won't. I'm pretty certain you will not get hired at any hospital if you get a degree in healthcare. I'm not being mean here. I'm just saying that, like, hey, been working at the heart of the hospital, sterile processing, for a long time now, and I'm going to tell you straight up. If you fail to provide the definition of what a woman is during the interview, you failed the interview. You did. And we will just throw your application in the garbage. In case you don't know what the definition of a woman is, it's a biological human female who has uterus, female chromosomes, female reproductive organs. That's what it is. That's what a woman is. A human with female reproductive organs. Yes, you can get a sex change operation, but that won't necessarily make you a woman. No.
Of other categories, lots of people don't fit neatly into a gender binary, even people we don't consider to be intersex. It's a complicated spectrum.
It's not complicated, but you also didn't define. So what is a woman? What is a female? What do these words mean?
It's complicated, and I know you're not going to like that answer, but that's because there are no simple answers in human biology.
Let me ask you a question.
You guys,
Can I ask you one last question?
just let me finish. You guys like to bring up high school level biology classes a lot. I get that a lot, but people who go on to more complicated biology classes will talk about sex as a spectrum.
It's not. It's not.
It's not a spectrum. Do I understand a spectrum is a thing? Yeah, of course I do. But from my understanding is that all a spectrum does is that spectrum disorders, the only thing that they do is change the way how people process information. Are there more physical aspects of it? Yeah, of course. I had a roommate with Down syndrome. Smartest guy I know. But yeah, it has nothing to do with sex. It really does not. I don't understand why we're debating this. Like, I really don't.
Well, biological researchers would disagree with you.
Well, then they're full of shit, the ones that would say that. Look, There are
All right.
male gametes and female gametes. Oh, I had one last question. I just have one. I had one quick. Can you come back for 1 second? Because this is an important question. You said you're an EMT.
Yes.
Okay, if you're responding to a health emergency. Biological male, somebody with a penis, is having a medical emergency, and they say to you, "I think I'm having a miscarriage." Would you check them to see if they're having a miscarriage? Would you consider that a possibility for them?
Look. No, but that's because some people don't have body parts. Doesn't mean they're not a woman.
Okay.
If you don't have a uterus, you are not a woman. Sorry, that's the truth. This is why I started saying this person is an EMT. Yeah, he really shouldn't be. Because, like, let's face it, medicine, like, we don't understand that if you work in a hospital, anyone who works in a hospital will understand there's no fighting biology. You have to work with it. This person, I think, this person should be disbarred. Like, he really should. He should not be allowed to practice medicine at all. No, or work in anything that has associated with healthcare. He's clearly not going to be able to follow the Hippocratic Oath. And what I mean by that is that you need to put your personal ideologies aside and prioritize biology and neurology, not try to fight against it or redefy it, which this one person really cannot do.
Sounds like we've established there are some people who, in principle, can get pregnant, and there are some people who can't. So there's two categories, otherwise known as binary.
Lots of women can't get pregnant either.
Yeah, but they're still of the nature to get pregnant. The only
But
reason
they can't get pregnant.
Yes, but
truth matters, right?
It does. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Truth matters, and they can't
Okay,
get pregnant. That's the truth. So how are they still women?
Because they are for the same reason that I can rightly say that human beings have two legs. And if a person is born with only one leg, that doesn't call into question the statement that human beings have two legs, okay? A person being born with one leg doesn't mean that now legs are on a spectrum and we can't say anything at all about how many legs a person has. Who knows? They could be a centipede. You know, they could have 100 legs. No, we know human beings have two legs. If a human is born without two legs, something went wrong. They were supposed to have that second leg. Something went wrong. If you meet
the way I can tell that she's not a woman, even though she can't get pregnant, is because she still has the organ known as a uterus. Yeah. This person who's a transgender, he's an EMT, he should already know that. He really should. I really don't see how you can pass an EMT course and not know that. I really don't. And hey, don't get me wrong, like, my way of life is that, like, hey, if you're not doing anything illegal, you're not hurting anybody, you're not affecting anybody in a negative way, hey, I don't really care what you do with your life. I don't. However, when you're trying to forcefully drag other people into it against their will, that's when I do have a problem with it. Because you are hurting people. And you are affecting people in a negative way. That's just my 2 cents on it.
person on the street only has one leg. Maybe they had an accident. Maybe they were in war. Maybe something, maybe they were in a car accident. Maybe they had cancer. A leg was cut off. But you know that something went wrong because by their nature, they're supposed to have two legs. Same thing for a woman. A woman by her nature can get pregnant. A man by his nature never can. So if you meet a woman of childbearing age, say she's 28 years old, and she can't get pregnant, you know automatically that something has gone wrong. And she can go to the doctor and find out what that thing is, even if they can't fix it. So that proves that women by their nature can get pregnant, because the simple fact that she can't shows you that there's something wrong. This is what is known as the exception that proves the rule. Whereas if a male with a penis can't get pregnant, no doctor on earth is going to run tests to see what's wrong with him. Because they already know it's that he's a male, and there's only male and female, those who can get pregnant and those who can't. So.
Exactly. There's only men and women, male and female. Those who can get pregnant and those who can't. Like I said, if you want to get a sex change operation and call yourself whatever, go ahead, call yourself whatever. Just don't try to force the other people into it against their will. Because that's when it starts becoming a problem. It really does.